Now let's turn our attention to the Indo-Pacific region where a PR wrestling match is underway. And the trophy is a tiny mass of sand in the West Philippine Sea. These are strategic waters. They're highly disputed. Parts of the sea are claimed by many governments, including the Philippines. But China, being China, claims ownership of almost all of it. Now, China and the Philippines have conducted rivaling photo opportunities in the waterway. They have each unfurled their national flags on tiny sandbars in the West Philippine Sea, or what Beijing calls the South China Sea. This is stoking up long-standing regional tensions. But why now? And what will become of this? Here's a report.
When it comes to politics, optics matters. Sometimes they can help in diplomacy, but sometimes they can ratchet up long-standing regional tensions. We are talking about the rivaling public relations stunt by China and the Philippines. The two countries have each unfurled their national flags on a tiny mass of sand in the West Philippine Sea, or what Beijing calls the South China Sea. This is a strategic waterway in the Indo-Pacific region, and it is widely seen as a flashpoint for global conflict. Several Southeast Asian nations claim parts of the sea. But China has claimed its ownership over most of the waterway, despite an international ruling saying that it has no basis. Over the past 2 decades, Beijing has occupied many obscure reefs across the sea, even if they are far from its shoreline. It has built up military installations and ports on them. And now, it is clicking pictures over a small sandbar in the sea, the Sandy Cay. This is a string of 3 uninhabited sandbanks. It lies near the Thitu Island, where the Philippines maintains a military outpost. The latest dispute began last week. China's mouthpiece media claimed that it exercised sovereign jurisdiction over the Tetian Reef, which is the Chinese name for Sandy Cay. Next, a photo aired on its broadcaster. It showed Chinese officials in black uniforms, walking along the white sandbar. Another photo showed 4 officers holding up a Chinese flag. They called it a show of sovereignty. But the Philippines said, not so fast. Manila sent teams to multiple sandbars. On Sunday, it deployed the country's Navy, Coast Guard, and police on different parts of Sandy Cay, saying that the officers observed the illegal presence of a nearby Chinese Coast Guard's vessel and 7 Chinese maritime militia vessels. And then came this picture. It showed 5 officers holding the Philippine national flag on a white sandbar. By Sunday night, China retorted.
China's rights protection and law enforcement activities there are conducted in accordance with the law, aimed at countering the Philippines' illegal landings and other acts of infringement and provocation, firmly safeguarding national territorial sovereignty, ensuring that the reef remains uninhabited and without facilities.
This latest standoff in the contested waters risks further stoking tensions between the two countries, which have become increasingly fraught in recent years. It is also a key test for the Trump administration, with the U.S. being a mutual defense ally of the Philippines. Despite Trump's mercurial views on protecting its allies, his cabinet contains vocal China hawks. They have spoken publicly on needing to push back against China's growing ambitions in the Indo-Pacific region. And the timing of the latest stunt is crucial. It comes as the U.S. and Philippine forces are carrying out their annual war scenario drills, what's called the Balikatan exercises, where as many as 17,000 personnel are taking part. And in a first, missiles from the U.S. Marine Air Defense Integrated System were fired off the coast of the northern Philippines. So now China, in its usual fashion, seems to be acting out. It is trying to provoke the Philippines. But if this photo opportunity tussle proves anything, it is this: Beijing cannot bully Manila.
Greeting you with aloha.